Thank you. So, yeah, thank you for joining us today. And so, you all know this is like a book club for R for Data Science Asian cohort. And today we'll be doing the first and second chapter. But before that, just reminding everybody that this will be a weekly affair, and every Tuesday at 8 a.m. IST or 2:30 a.m. UTC, we'll have this meeting. So before that, I would like everyone to introduce themselves. So I'll start with myself. I am Adithi, and I'm from India. I'm a geospatial data scientist, and I usually work with R almost every day. And yeah, I started using R 2 years back. So this book was my go-to book that I would like everyone. I would like a safe place to read this all over again and go through the exercises with everybody. Yeah, thank you. Somebody else can introduce themselves.
I can go. Sorry, my video is not working. I have a conflicting call just for today. I'm Arnab. I am from San Diego. I am a PhD student at the University of California here. I started working with R about a year ago, and I'm a huge fan of the software. I have gone through this book in bits and pieces, but I always wanted a book club through which I could go through the book end to end. Yeah, I'm really excited that this started. Thanks so much, Adithi.
Sure.
I agree with her. Thanks a lot, Adithi. I'm Maulik. I'm also a doctoral student in India. And I started learning R so that I can use it for my thesis preparation. But still, I'm struggling.
We're all there with you.
And in fact, I was diagnosed with cancer.
Everyone, Adithi,
coursework was going on. So as of now, I am on a career break. And during this break, I am using this time to learn R thoroughly so that I can use it whenever I join back.
Definitely, yeah. I hope you're feeling good. Sorry to hear.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Abhimanyu Arora. I am a assistant director in census operations, currently posted in Bangalore. And I am also pursuing my MA in population studies from IIPS Mumbai. I am a development economist by training, and I have been using Stata for quite some time. I have used R mostly for data management and cleaning, but I would like to explore further. Thank you. So I have to rush to office also at 9 o'clock. So I might have to, in case it's...
Sure. I promise to keep it within that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting ready side by side. Tying my legs.
Okay. Sure. Can we ask Shweta to introduce?
Hi everyone, I'm Shweta. I am a PhD student at UCST in California, and I have experience of using Stata extensively for my research work and have some introductory level exposure to R as well. So I'm hoping to learn a lot and practice a lot through these sessions.
Great. Meenakshi, can you introduce yourself?
Hi everyone. I'm sorry I joined a little late. I was confused about what the password was. So I'm Meenakshi and I'm a postdoc. I'm working at the University of Florida. And I saw the meetup on Twitter. So I thought, I'll join for a bit. I just wanted to say, I'm here. Not a super advanced R user, but I think I'll consider myself intermediate. So if there's anybody who's struggling in the early phases, I guess I'll be there to like hold your hand and take you along if you need any help. So feel free to reach out either here or even offline on Twitter or anywhere, and I'll be very glad to help anyone with their journey, because so many random strangers helped me. So I would really like to help others.
Thank you.
Thanks, Meenakshi.
Thank you, Meenakshi.
Yeah, do we have... I think, okay. Sorry, I was looking at the chats. So yeah, did we? Okay, so I'm sorry. I think there is another Meenakshi. Can you please introduce yourself? We were just going around for everybody's introduction.
Hi, I'm Meenakshi Kushwaha. So to avoid confusion, you can call me Kushwaha or something, so that we are sorted. I work. Sorry, I joined a little late. I work with Adithi on air quality research. We started working in Bangalore together, but now I have moved to Taiwan, Taipei, very recently, and I am just. I would also consider myself an intermediate R user, but I think every day I'm looking up stuff. So there are so many aspects where I'm still a beginner. Happy to be here.
Okay. Am I missing somebody? Okay, that's all. Okay, so as Hadley and Garrett say, quote unquote, you learn how to get your data into R, get it into the most useful structure, transform it, visualize it, and model it. So there are these skills that allow data science to happen, and here you will find the best practices for doing each of these things with R. So this book mostly deals with R and not Python and Julia in other sense. So we'll definitely learn one of the minimal ways of how to. It's a very good book to start when you're starting with data science. Of course, it doesn't cover everything you need. You will definitely want to rely on other books, but this book will definitely give us a strong foundation. So for any data science model to work or to implement it, you need some basic tools and some important and basic tools, which is given in this model, if you see on the slide. So let us go through this go through these individually. So first thing is to import the data into R. So unless you don't have your data, you cannot work with it. So that could be using, you can pull data from the database or using a web scraping API or anywhere, or normal CSV file in your own system. The next way is to tidy them. So tidy would mean storing it in a consistent form. You have in all, each column is a variable and each row is an observation. So you make it into tidy data, which is easier to work with once you import them. Once you import the data. Sorry if I'm going too fast or too slow, please let me know. And if you have any questions, please interrupt in between. There are no issues as such. And okay, so the next is to transform the data, like selecting on what you want to work on, or adding new variables, doing some summary on the data you already have. So tidying and transforming together is called data wrangling. So once you have all this data prepared, like you are done with all your analysis stuff, now you have to visualize the data, like plot the data, or like make graphs and visualize your data. How does it look, to understand it more? And once you have your questions ready for the data set, once you have your questions of how to work with this data set and what to relay out of it, you can use something called model, which is complementary to visualization, and it's the tool that will answer the questions of your data. So there are many models available in R, Python, or everything. So you can use one of them to understand your data set and answer the questions of the data. The last one is to communicate. Once you have done everything, the most important step is communicating the results or relaying your results and or findings to others. It's not necessary that one model will work and you'll be able to communicate the same model, but you might have a series, you would have worked out a series of models and only one of them would have worked, which you will communicate to others. And the background of all this is that you need a programming tool to do it. So that's where we're on R. Like we are going to stick to R to do all these things. Okay, yeah. So 80% of all the projects can be resolved using these tools, but you need 20% of other tools as well to tackle a data science project fully. So yeah. And some of the this is the most important slide, I think. Like there are exercises in this book as well, so it is always good to go through the exercises and not skip it. And thanks to the authors, there is a solution book as well. Somebody has solved it and they have made a solution book. The link is given here. So you can definitely refer to that. But personally, I feel that solving it on our own first will help a lot. And yeah, that way we will get to know a lot of where did we go wrong and where to improvise the code, something like that. Yeah, we'll definitely learn in that process. So what are a few prerequisites here? If you're totally new with R, then there is the book by Garrett called Hands-on Programming with R. That's also one of the books to, it also gives the best practices to use in R. I started using R 2 years back, and I didn't know that in writing code also there are some best practices. So after 2 years, I learned how to do. So it's always advised you go back to a strong foundation you have a strong foundation using a book, and that book would be Hands-on Programming with R. And also, and you need R, of course. So if you just type on your Chrome or Firefox, just R, it will take you to a plan where all so yeah, you can download and install R in your system, and then of course you need a development environment to work on. So you have RStudio for that. If you have Anaconda, you can also start an instance of RStudio from there. Otherwise, you can just type RStudio and you will just for each operating system, you'll find the right version. They keep updating, so definitely go for the latest version. Yeah. So another important prerequisite for this book is different packages. So what are packages? Packages are a collection of functions you would need. So instead of writing them over and over, you just make it a function. So yeah, IDverse is one of the amazing collection of packages which has the most famous ggplot dplyr in it. So you need that package. So to install that package, just type install packages in your console, and you might also need. So not everything you need in a data science project will be available here. You need some other data set as well. So those can be to do some other work. So you will need some data set like Gapminder and MIC flights, to work around all the problems. Okay. So if you run into errors, remember that you're not alone. There are a number of ways through which we can solve these errors. The first and foremost thing is to just copy the error message which you get on your console and paste it on Google. There will be hundreds of solutions there. There might be people answering on our community, GitHub, where there might be an issue open to of the same error what you have encountered. And the other place is Stack Overflow, which is the repository of errors and solutions. So there are amazing people who solve those questions. But if you find that, if you see yourself that nobody has encountered this set of problem ever, and there is no There is no, you're not fully convinced with any of the solution. So you can prepare a question and you can have a minimal reproducible example or to ask people for help. So when we say minimal reproducible example, that means people should just need to copy the data and the code and then just run it in your PC. They need not have extra anything like they should, if you're using a particular data set which is not available to them, it's going to be difficult for them to run the code and encounter the same error. So for them to solve it effectively, you need to give a minimal reproducible example. So there are best practices to do that as well. Like you need to keep the code simple and you need to have your own, you should use one of the inbuilt data sets in R and it should be cleanly written. So yeah. So once you have a question on Stack Overflow, I'm pretty sure that you will get an answer by a day or two. But if nobody has encountered that before, then you can, the best way is to pull out an issue on GitHub for that package and the authors will help you out. Yeah, and we always for DS Slack, which is my go-to place for all the errors if I don't find anything on Stack Overflow and GitHub. So yeah, and try to follow all the amazing people on Twitter like Hadley, Garrett, and then RStudio Tips, RStudio, Jenny, everybody. I'm sure they can also help you. If not on Twitter, but definitely on another platform. So yeah. Okay, then that's all I think. This was the first and second chapter and see you next week. We will have data visualization next week. And the recordings will be up on the YouTube channel of R4ds Online Learning Community. There's a channel called that. Subscribe to that and you can see these videos if you have missed any week. And if you want to present some week, please let me know. So we need volunteers for every week from now on. So yeah. And the GitHub repo link is also here. So if you want to see the link, slides or anything, you want to see the previous cohort, how they are doing it, that's also available there. Yeah, I think that's all. Yeah, thank you everybody for joining. Yeah, now I think we'll open up to questions if there's any questions, how to do it, how to make it a smoother process.
Adithi, just one question regarding that that algorithm that you had shown, the model visualization and all. So
Yeah.
when we say model, you mean a kind of a regression model or a machine learning model? Is that what you have in mind?
Yes, actually any model, regression models or machine learning, AI, any kind of model. It could be a simple linear regression model as well.
Okay.
You want to work with your data, like if you have something on mind, so you can apply that model to it. Yeah, I meant all the possible models. I think machine learning is not very much discussed in this book, but yeah, it's not too, but you can definitely find some references to it.
So a basic idea model, it means basically to predict or forecast future values or something like that, right?
Yes, that should be there.
To interpret also. There are actually other books as well, Applied Predictive Modeling by Max Kuhn, who has developed this Cohort package. In that book, you will find more reference to other machine learning models, but this book definitely talks about the basics of linear regression and how you can use it throughout this r4ds process.
Right, right.
And the same developer, Max Kuhn, has also now joined RStudio, and he is developing another set of packages called tidy models, so that machine learning processes, machine learning algorithms can be implemented in this tidyverse way.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard about tidy models, and they're very simple to use and very one of the tidy way to work with machine learning.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So anybody would like to volunteer for next week? Or you could just let me know which chapter you want to do so that we can fill in the gaps. Or the next one which we have is database.
I can do database.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. So how do we approach this? Do we for the presentations, do we prepare a slide deck with the exercises and the solutions and then discuss during our next meetup?
I have a suggestion to that.
Yeah.
So I recently we helped conduct one introduction to our for like pharmaceutical students, doing pharmacy and stuff. So what we did was we basically created like a scaffold on RStudio itself, and then run line by line so that ggplot especially students can sort of understand what each line, how each layer gets added up into the plot. I think that would be really useful because it's like a visual way instead of a slide deck, because it's added efforts also, first of all, and it I think what you can show visually on RStudio would be a better option, in my opinion.
I can try that. Can you share an example? I did not quite.
Basically, just chunks of code in your R Markdown, so you can write like a little note about what it does and what you're accomplishing, and then you write put the entire code chunk in the regular R Markdown code. And so you have, say, for example, ggplot, your data frame, aesthetics, and then you start off with a geom point, for example.
Okay.
And you just run that part of the code. Then you add a plus and say, okay, now I want to add a geom line to it as well.
Sure. Okay.
Then you put a plus, and then you say, then you show students how the graph looks with a geom point and a geom line, and then you can say add a geom error bar to it. Then you want to add labels to it. Then you want to add a theme to it, so on and so forth. So you can just like go on adding things one by one. And then people can perhaps even work alongside on their own RStudios.
Makes sense. Yeah. I can try doing that. But for the examples, do we pick examples from the exercises, or yeah, that would be, I think, interesting.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so I think that's all. Does anybody want to say something? I'm sorry, I'm saying myself.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for starting this.
Yeah, thank you. It's all of us together. So I really wanted a place where we could, I could have every week I could follow up with this. I wasn't following it up very frequently. So yeah, this is a help to myself. Like I'm doing it for myself. So.
Yeah. And I completely echo Meenakshi's thoughts on how r4ds is super helpful with random strangers helping us out with areas that we are stuck in, and so very responsive. I think I'm so lazy that I don't even when I think that this is a problem that it would take me time to search through Stack Overflow, I just go and type it in r4ds and a solution comes through like pretty.
Yeah, they're very kind people. Yeah.
I like ours community in that sense. So
yeah. Okay. So if you have anything on your mind, you can DM me as well, or if you want to have any suggestion, feedback, please let all of us know. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining today.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Adithi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.